I think the first thing to say is that the Biden administration certainly won't support any resolution of Kosovo's status, which is based on an exchange of territories, nor do I think would a Harris administration, should Kamala Harris win the election in November. These politicians and the Democratic Party more generally are liberal idealists who are motivated by ideas of restorative justice, punishment for what they see as Serbia's barbarism in the 1990s, an opposition to nationalism and nation states. And they place a high value on what they call the rules-based international order, which precludes any kind of border changes, especially at a time when Russia is seeking to revise borders elsewhere in Eastern Europe. So that's the first thing to say. The second thing to say is I think it's completely plausible that an administration led by Donald Trump would support an exchange of territories or Kosovo's partition as a means to secure Serbia's recognition of Kosovo, for which the clearest evidence is that this was the solution which the last Trump administration was pursuing when Trump was in power at the end of the last decade. And he may well have seen this solution through to the end had he not lost power in November 2020. And furthermore, an exchange of territories or Kosovo's partition would be consistent with Trump's worldview if he returns to power in 2025, in contrast to Kamala Harris and the Democrats. He's not interested in punishing the Serbs. He's a nationalist, sympathizes with nationalists around the world. He's not interested in upholding the rules-based international order if this runs contrary to American interests, in this case specifically the American interest in resolving Kosovo's status and bringing the last of the American troops back home. And Trump has implied through his statements that he's willing to accept Ukraine's partition as a means of resolving the war in that country, and presumably wouldn't worry about setting a precedent in Kosovo for redrawing borders elsewhere in Eastern Europe.